Watch Cleaning, Repairing, Restaffing 101. Good afternoon. I've been debating for quite some time whether I want to try and give any lessons or teaching on pocket watch repair, although I think there is some demand for it. Watchmaking in itself has kind of been a dying trade for 40 years. And yet there's still people going to watchmaking school and learning how to do it. But it's a very difficult skill. On a scale, I always give it a scale of 1 to 10. A beginner's learning class in pocket watch repair is probably a skill 4. So there is quite a bit to do with it. And the skill levels continue to go higher and higher as the more things you want to learn how to do in pocket watch repair. So with all that, I decided I'd go ahead and give you a lesson on them. And I've been doing this for 40 years, and this is my take on how to do it and clean them properly and repair them. And this is kind of, I'm hoping, a simple one to do. I really don't know because it won't run, and the customer asked me if I could fix it, so I told him I'd look at it. So the first thing I did is I removed the hands, and they're already removed from here, the minute and the hour and the sweep second. Then I undid the two side dial screws, and so the dial is ready to move off, come loose. So we now got the dial off, and we want to get it out of the way. So now we have the hour wheel sitting here, and it will come loose. So there's no reason to leave it on there right now. So we'll take that off, and we'll just leave that little dial washer. There's a little dial washer that goes on that, and we'll throw it in the cleaning basket. Now we've got what we call a cannon pinion, and that's friction on the shaft there, the center shaft gear. Okay, this is what they call a cannon pinion remover. It's pretty big on the screen here. And to put the cannon pinion remover on the cannon pinion, and you remove the cannon pinion. Alrighty, that can go in the cleaning basket. So this has quite a lot of debris on it. This is actual rust. So now I pretty well know what's causing a major portion of the problem is we're rusty. So let's go ahead and now when you're doing that, there is a spring on this lever right here. This is a spring lever, and it could fly off of there, so you want to protect it. I want to look at that screw. It's got just a smidge of rust on it. So okay, we've removed that. You can see there is well, I'm gonna have to watch what I'm doing. Quite a bit of rust on the bottom side of it, so water has penetrated. So we're going to have to clean that off. These two gears are also full of rust, so we'll have to make sure they're not really too badly pitted. We'll take a look here. We'll take a look at the minute wheel. And it's clean, so we're all right there. And here we go. We got one rusty gear right there, and one rusty gear right there. Those will have to be derusted. So we'll set them aside. We won't put those in the cleaner until we get them derusted. Now a fiberglass brush generally will fix that problem. I'm trying to remove the spring without it getting away from me. Oop, it did. We got it though. There's a spring. And we'll remove the clutch lever. And we'll take a look on the back side of it. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but it's going to be alright. It's a little bit of rust right there. Alright, we're going to remove the detent because I can see there's some rust there. The stem is in good shape. Kind of weird that there would be rust in just one little area. Winding pinion. There's your clutch. And they're relatively clean. Very interesting. I'm not sure why it didn't rust all that, but it didn't, so we're okay there. I'm going to leave the pinion in there until I get ready to clean it. The detent, I'm sorry. Okay, so there's two things we got to do next. We're going to start stripping this down, and we're going to start cleaning all the gears and so forth. Now, should put this in a movement holder, but right now I'm kind of lazy. So first thing we're going to do is we could remove that. This is the balance jewel on the top, and it's got a shock spring in there. So if we're really careful, we can remove the balance jewel before we remove the balance staff, or the hairspring, the balance assembly. Let's go that route. So okay, now there's a balance jewel and then the cap jewel on top of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that in some 1-dip to separate the cap jewel and the housing that it goes to. And that I don't know if you can see them, but there's two of them in there now, and that's what we were looking for. For the time being, we'll just leave those right there because we're not in a hurry to take them out. I want to get this shock spring put back down so that it doesn't get bumped or broke off of there. They're extremely fragile. Okay, that's done. So next thing I want to do is I want to remove the balance cock or the balance bridge. And there's one screw holding that. And we'll throw that in the cleaner. And we'll remove this. Now, this requires a little bit of gently. You want to come to the back side of the bridge and lift it, pry it up just a little bit so it's loose. And now you can remove the whole thing, as you can see right here. One important thing that I forgot to mention is that you want to let down the mainspring before you actually start working on the inside. And just by moving this apart, I noticed that it's already down because I let it down. But don't work on your watch till you drop that mainspring power. Then you can proceed with all the other things. So now we'll just go ahead and remove the balance, and it's attached to the hairspring. And we'll probably take that apart in just a minute. Now in here, there's a screw that holds this, which I've already taken out. And this is the pellet bridge. And you want to start from the back and gently lift it, and then you want to go to the front and take it off. And that has to be cleaned, so we'll do that next. Now this is the pellet fork, and I'm just looking, and the pellets look really nice, so they're in good shape. Now I'm just looking at the wheels, and we got problems here. Something more wrong here than I anticipated. We are stuck right there. See how it won't go this way? When I bring it back, and I'm jammed. And I shouldn't be. So, we know there's something else wrong. Alright, so we know that far, we're that far, we know we do have some other problems. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the ratchet gear. And that can go in the cleaner. Ratchet gear can go in the cleaner. Don't see any rust on it. Now let's check that. So I still don't see what's going on. Okay, I ran out of disk space, so I had to go erase a few to gain a few. So we were right here. We're going to take off this bridge. I'm not sure where I lost it, but this gear is jammed. Right. Oh, son. Oops, there it is. Yep, right there. Won't move. So there's something definitely causing. You need a little thrill in your life. Alright, let's get this one off and see if we can figure out what is going on here. Alright, we can't put that in the cleaner yet because we've got to do a little bit of work to the jewels. If I can get it off my tweezers. Okay, let's take a look here. I think she'd be alright. Now, we'll go ahead and take the mainspring out. And there's a mainspring arbor lid right here. See no rust on it, which is really amazing. And the mainspring's alright. Alright, got that. I'll take these two screws out. They can go in the cleaner. They could go in the cleaner. Well, I don't see any rust on the pinions, on the pivots. So the next thing I'm going to do is lay that down, and we're going to clean the pallet fork by using pith wood. And that could go in the cleaner. Alright, we'll take the center wheel. go ahead and roll the teeth. Well, there we go. Kind of looks like we might have a little rust on there, so I'll give that a couple, 3 times. No, I think it's okay. There's a lot of debris in this watch, so there was a big reason why it wasn't running. Now we're working on the escape wheel, which is what releases the power to the pellet fork, and the pellet swings the balance wheel, and the balance wheel does its 160 and continues to release power and allow everything to make time. Interesting, isn't it? There's a piece of rust. Gosh, I hate to see that on any gear. Okay. I don't know what went on the floor. I hope it wasn't anything serious. Now, we're ready to do a little bit of maintenance here before we put any of this in the cleaner. Okay, crucial step. This is pithwood or pegwood. Let's get the terms right. This is pegwood, and I grind that to a real fine point, because the next crucial point is that all these jewels have dried up oil in them. And just putting them in the cleaner, the ultrasonic cleaner, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come out spotless. So I have always, for 30 years, trained by a master and trained in school to take the jewels and run our pegwood through there. Oop, that's a deadly way to lose a part. And down here, now we've got, I'm going to have to take this gear off here, I think. We've got a little piece of rust right there, so we'll come back to that. Alright, let's get the rest of these. Cleaning the jewels out. Alright, that's clean. Last step we got to do is remove that shock spring and take out the bottom jewels. And we'll put it in the one dip. And there's the jewel that's separated. Now, generally speaking, these are different cap sizes, so you want to make sure it goes back to the same piece. So you have to really keep an eye on what and how you're doing the cleaning on those cap jewels and the jewel housing. Those two go together, and these two go together. And yes, I will paint upper of the lower jewels out of the one dip. So the next thing to do is I want to run these down through there. You want to do that upside down. And then we want to do the pellet fork plate. And that's done. Okay. So now we're going to put those, the pellet fork and the gears, and then we'll go back and we'll do the cap jewels and clean them separate. This is the top, this is the bottom. So if I make two little marks, I'll know that that's the top. The cap jewels for it are right over here. And they are full of glue. This is a little bit of a thicker cap jewel, and this is a thinner one, and the thinner one goes to the bottom. So I'm going to gently break off that bad oil. You have to use a light touch, or this will be gone. Okay, now I'll use some watch paper, and I'll clean those a little bit thorougher. I used to get the kind that had ribs in it, called rib watch paper, but I can't find any of it. So, till I do, I'll have to use the regular watch paper. Now, we're just gonna, and then we'll knock them off our fingers. Those are clean. Alright, we got that done. So now to de-rust a couple of gears. It's amazing that that winding gear didn't, that clutch gear didn't get hammered. Alright, we're going to go ahead and just de-rust these. I'm using a fiberglass brush, quite a stout one. I'm rust in the set bridge. Ideally, if we could buy one, this would probably be replaced. Would be the best way to go. And the 2 winding gears should probably also be replaced. This is a Unitas 6498. Chances are we could find the parts for this. So it's all on how much the customer would be willing to pay. Does he want to pay another $60 for parts, or would he prefer I derust them? Personally, if it was my watch and I wanted to restore it, I'd replace these parts if they're available. I don't know how much of this people want to really watch. It is interesting though. Well, that's about as much as I'm going to get off the set bridge. I don't think it'll probably rust back up. We'll give it a thought. That can go in the cleaner. Alrighty, this troubles me here a little bit. That can go in the cleaner. Now, since I last talked to you, I went ahead and closed the set bridge. I'm sorry, I closed the shock spring on the back side, the pillar plate. So I'm just inspecting to see if there's any more. Might be a touch of rust right here. Nope, that's clean. That's just amazing that only 3 parts really got heavy with rust. And none of the rest of them were touched. Alright, what I used is a heavy-duty fiberglass cleaning brush. And they're hard to find anymore, but if you look around, you can probably find them on eBay. We'll go ahead and clean this and then we'll reassemble it. Thanks for watching. We'll do part 2 here as soon as I get her cleaned and get her back together. But that's how you disassemble, clean, derust. And it's about all I can think of. So we'll say part 2 will come up as soon as I get this one edited and get her on the YouTube. As always, I do appreciate any comments that are nice. Don't like to get my feelings hurt, and I do appreciate anybody that watches the videos. quite difficult to make, and trying to edit these and do voiceover is something that I can't do just yet. So I just kind of wing it, and I do enjoy showing these videos and the training that it takes. So thanks again for watching, as always. Good night.